Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and despite the amount of series I'm backed up on right now, and the fact that I missed 413 this year, and haven't posted anything since the 1st of July, 1st of July, wow, no, the 1st of April, I wanted to read about cryptids today. And the reason I wanted to read about cryptids today is because I saw a Facebook post that led to this website, and I saved it specifically to do a video about it, and that was before I knew there was a link to this website. And the website has this picture, this graphic here. But I'm also wondering if maybe I should just read the thing proper. So, it's the scariest urban legends in each state, terrifying creatures and ghost stories by Bonnie Granger. At least I think that's how you say it. Have you? I'll also probably read. Yeah, well, I will read it. I'll leave a link in the description if y'all want to check out the website yourself. Because honestly, I'm not sure what's going to happen when I click on this picture. I meant to check that before I started recording, but it's too late now. Have you been hearing bumps in the night? Have you seen flickers of light in the sky? How about shadows in rural forests? You're not alone. Americans have been seeing odd phenomena and coming up with scary stories and legends to explain them for centuries. We've gathered some of the best, most obscure, and creepiest urban legends in the United States to spook your friends. But be warned. Our list of lesser known and scary urban legends by state might have you checking your own backyard. Some urban myths and legends veer towards the ridiculous and silly, while some are terrifying and true or close to it. These are some of the scariest urban legends in every state, some based on real stories. And here's pictures of them. But I'm pretty sure that it lists them further down. Again, I'll be leaving a link in the description so you can check it out. American urban legends are some of the scariest stories ever. We've invented Bigfoot and the Mothman, and we even saw witches in our own neighbors in Salem. Here's some American folklore that you may not have heard yet, from the tricky Wendigo to the close-to-truth Cropsey to the horrifying Boo Hags. America is a melting pot of culture, and nowhere is it more obvious than our creepy urban legends. Stories like this might keep you up at night, not because of the fanciful urban myths about monsters and witches, but because with the grains of haunting truth. Without further ado, here is our list of urban legends in every state. Alphabetically, it looks like. In Alabama, the Dead Children's Playground. During late night hours, swings move by themselves as spirits of buried children come to play. In Alaska, we have the Kushtaka, a shape-shifting creature that is a cross between an otter and a man. The Kushtaka make noises that mimic children and wives to lure fishermen, though they are sometimes helpful tricksters. In Arizona, we've got the Slaughterhouse Canyon. One day, a father failed to return to his cabin during the 1800s gold rush, and his family starved. The mother went insane, put on her wedding dress, and chopped her children up. Today, you can still hear her cries for forgiveness. In Arkansas, we have Dog Boy. A werewolf-like ghost walks on all fours and haunts his childhood home. This myth is based on the sad story of a real man, Gerald Batiste, who was rumored to experiment on stray animals and reportedly abused his elderly parents. California has the Dark Watchers. Featureless dark silhouettes, often brimmed hats and walking sticks, stare down travelers during twilight and dawn in the Santa Lucia Mountains. John Steinbeck briefly mentioned them in Flight. They should not be addressed or acknowledged. So if you're in California and you see silhouettes wearing hats, just leave them be, because who knows what'll happen if you talk to them. Like, hey man, that's a nice hat you got there. In Colorado, we have Riverdale Road. Does that mean Riverdale from Archie Comics is in Colorado? Riverdale Road is home to a host of legends. While traveling down the road during a full moon, one can see the hanging bodies of slaves on the trees. They have their own lady in white. But one section of road led to a mansion that contained a satanic cult. The gate to hell itself is reportedly inside the chicken coop. It's a weirdly specific place for that to be. In Connecticut, Annabelle the Demonic Doll. The demonic doll in The Conjuring and Annabelle is inspired by a real-life Raggedy Ann doll, supposedly inhabited by the spirit of a dead girl, which was given to two demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren, after some extremely malicious paranormal activity. In Delaware, we've got the Corpse Light. There is no lighthouse in Cape Henlopen, but there is a phantom light. It crashed the ship Devonshireman on Christmas of 1665, and more than 200 men died. Allegedly, the light is a curse from a local Native American tribe after British soldiers slaughtered attendees at a wedding ceremony. Florida's got the Devil's Chair. The Casadaga spiritualist camp is full of odd ghosts, but one chair supposedly is a favorite for the big cheese himself. According to local lore, if you sit in it, he'll whisper horrible things in your ear, forever changing you. And if you leave a beer on his chair overnight, he'll drink it. Sometimes even if the can is still sealed. I wonder if he has a favorite beer. Georgia has the Cursed Pillar. After a preacher was told he couldn't deliver a sermon next to the pillar, he declared that the whole town would be destroyed, and that the pillar would be the only thing left standing. A freak tornado later destroyed most of Augusta, leaving the pillar still standing. What was he a preacher of? That he just was like, hey, you can deliver your sermon, just not right there. Well, then your whole town will be destroyed. I don't think he was a good preacher, so they probably shouldn't have let him deliver a sermon at all. In Hawaii, there's the Night Marchers. The deadly ghosts of ancient Hawaiian warriors march over the waters, chanting and blowing conch shells. If you hear them, run. All flee the magic conch! In Idaho, there are water babies of Massacre Rocks. That's a title. Sit by the river and you can hear the sounds of babies crying. There are the babies that mothers are forced to kill during a famine rather than see them starve. Some say that these babies evolved into tricky creatures with fins and gills. In Illinois, we have the ghost elephants. A real-life 1918 train wreck of circus cars leading to the troop deaths has popularized the legend that elephants had to be buried where they fell. Now, supposedly the circus still takes place at night in Woodlawn Cemetery. In Indiana, there's the green-clawed beasts in the Ohio River. With hairy arms, clawed hands, and green skin, this human-sized creature grabs unsuspecting women. Some believe the specific incident that inspired the legend was an extraterrestrial visit related to the Kentucky Goblin sightings, which happened on the same day. In Iowa, there was the Villisca Axe Murder House. Not just a murderer, the whole house. Based on real events, this 1912 cold case features a whole family, 2 parents, 4 children, and 2 house guests, being bludgeoned to death in their sleep. Since then, the house has been the source of odd paranormal activity, such as a ghost hunter stabbing himself in the chest in 2014. Why is it called the Axe Murder House if they were bludgeoned? That's not what axes do. In Kansas, there's the Gateway to Hell. One of these several gateways to hell in America, the stairs in an old demolished church open to the other side on Halloween and the spring equinox. Why the spring equinox? Why Kansas? In Kentucky, we have the Kentucky Goblins. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter was a supposed extraterrestrial appears of small, goblin-like green, hairless children with 3 toes. While most skeptics easily dismiss them as owls, there has been a new wave of recent sightings of them on the other side of Kentucky. In Louisiana, we have the Rougarou. A pale white werewolf-like creature prowls the swamps and often stars in stories to encourage children to behave, such as hunting down Catholics who don't practice Lent. Maine has Colonel Buck's tomb. After a woman became pregnant with Colonel Buck's son, he forced her out to take care of the babe alone, later having her burned as a witch. The son ran off with the witch's leg that had rolled out of the bonfire, and he later cursed the colonel's tomb, which now bears the stain of a leg, despite several attempts to clean, replace, or remove it. Maryland has the Goat Man. Surprised that their cryptid isn't something crab-related. This legend stirred so much enthusiasm that the USDA at one point had to formally deny the creation of the Goat Man in their Beltsville Research Agricultural Center. The half-man, half-goat creature likes to chase down teenagers in Lover's Lane and distract drivers on Crybaby Bridge. Maryland, why would you name things like this? In Massachusetts, we have the Pukwudgies. Tiny gray tricksters resembling humanoid porcupines will supposedly lure people off cliffs or trap them in sand in the swampy regions of Massachusetts. In Michigan, there's the Nain Rouge. Out of the various Michigan... Did I say Michigan? I thought I said Michigan. Urban legends. This one seems both ridiculous and feasible. Detroit was haunted by a small impish hobgoblin who predicts misfortune and has cursed the city. He was seen in the 1805 fire, which nearly destroyed the whole city, the 1968 riots, and the 1976 ice storm. Today, a banishment parade is thrown yearly. In Minnesota, we have the Wendigo, whose name you're not supposed to say too many times or he'll come after you. This is one of the oldest legendary monsters, dating back to the folklore of Native Americans, who hunted these 15-foot tall shape-shifting creatures even into the early 20th century. Anyone who resorts to cannibalism and tastes human flesh will become one. Side story, I've been playing Fallout 76 a lot with one of my friends every weekend, and we came across the Wendigo in that game, and they did actually have little holotapes of two people who got trapped in a cave, and the reason they turned into them is because they had to eat their fellow raiders to survive, and it came down to them wondering which one of them was going to turn first. And then we had to fight it, and it was just terrible. It wasn't 15 feet tall. I mean, it might have been, but they ran on all fours and made weird skittering noises, and I just... I don't think any of you are likely to play Fallout 76, but if you ever do, and you go to Wendigo Cave, bring like 4 shotguns and a lot of ammo. Anyway, in Mississippi, there's the Mercritus. This story is an odd myth. It's about a disease. Supposedly a horrible outbreak wrecked much of rural Mississippi town, and was later covered up by the government and medical community. If a man ingested too much lead, he would produce a smell that would cause a hormonal reaction in women who descend into mad homicidal fits. I could make a statement about Michigan, but I'm not going to do that. Missouri, the zombie road. Stories about strange deaths along the road as far back as Native American times, and drownings in the nearby river have made it a fun haunted spot for teenagers for decades. But many of them have perished in strange accidents too. Today, dark shadows follow you here, seen only out of the corner of your eye. Montana has the Phantom Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake. A Native American man with long black hair wearing an outdated baggy jacket and jeans collides with cars, suddenly appearing on their windshield only for him to vanish without a dent. He's also been known to hitch a ride and chase cars at inhuman speeds. Nebraska has radioactive hornets. Once again, what the heck, Nebraska? This is a recent urban legend. After the Fukushima nuclear disaster, the locals of Nebraska believed that mutant hornets from the area had grown to 4 times their normal size and were running rampant locally. Nevada has the spiteful mermaid of Pyramid Lake. While Area 51 gets all the fame and glory for its supposed alien autopsies, fewer people know about the curse on Pyramid Lake, which happened after a Paiute man fell in love with a mermaid. His tribe rejected her and told him to throw her back in. She cursed the lake, brought the settlers, and ignited a war. Talk about spite. In modern times, the lake has drowned locals, spiting them as far out as Lake Tahoe. Is that supposed to be spitting? It's probably supposed to be spitting. New Hampshire has the Goody Cole. Eunice Goody Cole was blamed for numerous local tragedies and accused of witchcraft twice. Legends say the locals staked her heart to make sure she wouldn't bother them, but they continue to blame numerous events on her. Some say she still pays a visit from time to time. New Jersey, the ghost boy of Clinton Road. Hiding under one of the bridges of Clinton Road is a ghost boy, but don't worry, he's pretty nice and helpful. If you throw a coin into the river, he'll return it to you. I've never heard of that. I've only really ever heard of the Jersey Devil. I didn't know we had a ghost boy of Clinton Road. I don't even know where Clinton Road is. I only know about Clinton Avenue. Anyway, in New Mexico, there's La Malahora, it might be pronounced La Malahora. If you're traveling alone in country crossroads after dark, avoid this demon, which appears as a woman. She drives people insane, and if you see her, either you or someone you love will die. So just don't go on crossroads at dark. I don't think anybody who has any kind of superstition at all would be outside alone at dark on a crossroads. You just don't do that. Granted, my only basis for knowing that is watching too much Supernatural a few years ago, but still, even that. In New York, there's the Cropsey. This escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand would snatch children in Staten Island, but the old legend became horrifyingly real when a killer named Andre Rand was caught in the 1970s. North Carolina has the Vampire Beast of Bledinboro. Gruesome deaths in the 1950s of mutilated livestock and dogs, drained of blood, led to reports of something vaguely feline and huge living near Bladensboro. North Dakota has the Miniwashitu. The red bison-like water monster of the Missouri River travels upstream to break ice. Anyone who sees it alone in the daytime will go insane. Why? I feel like if I was walking around North Dakota in the daytime and saw a red bison just breaking ice, I'm like, oh hey, that's a red bison and he's breaking ice. How about that? And I'll just keep walking. I don't know what makes it a monster. Maybe it's a really big red bison. Maybe it's got too many necks. I don't understand why seeing it in the daytime in broad daylight would make you go insane. North Dakota, everybody. Ohio has the Loveland frog. Out of the various ghastly Ohio urban legends, this one may be the strangest. A humanoid 4-foot frog apparently hangs out on the sides of roads in Loveland at night, and it will stand up on its hind legs, wave a hand over its head, and shoot sparks to deter humans. That is not that bad. Like, if you're going to say out of the various ghastly urban legends, this one may be the strangest, are you implying that this one is also ghastly? I'm not sure what's ghastly about a humanoid 4-foot frog that stands up and waves a wand and shoots sparks at him. You do know that we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a thing people love. I don't understand why a humanoid frog that's not even 5'11" shooting sparks out of its head is ghastly. It sounds like all you gotta do is like, oh look, that guy. I would already stay away from a 4-foot tall humanoid frog because that sounds like a kappa and you don't want to mess with those. Oklahoma has the Men in Black at Shaman's Portal. Beaver Dunes Park is the Bermuda Triangle of Oklahoma, with weird disappearances dating back as far as Coronado's time, when his men disappeared in flashes of green light. In recent times, archaeologists have been chased away from the site by mysterious government officials. According to superstition, anyone who learns anything about what's truly buried underneath the sand disappears. Oregon has the Bandaged Man. The ghost of a logger who died in a grisly sawmill accident attacks cars and terrorizes teenagers. The smell of rotting flesh predicts a visit. What if you don't know what rotting flesh smells like? Pennsylvania has Charlie No Face. Rumors of a murderous faceless man roaming the streets at night were based on a real-life person who'd suffered an extreme accident that destroyed his face. He wasn't, as it turns out, a murderer. He walked at night because he wanted to get fresh air and be left alone. The legend stuck, however. Rhode Island has Mercy Brown, the vampire. Outbreaks of tuberculosis caused a vampire scare in 1892 when a full family contracted the disease. While most of her family's bodies decomposed, Mercy's body seemed to be frozen in time, making people suspect her to be a vampire. While it was obviously superstition, the legend persisted. South Carolina's got the Boo Hags. Gullah folklore tells us about evil souls who stay behind after death and become skinless vampire-like witches, who take other people's skin for a ride. Come on, catch a ride! South Dakota has Walking Sam, a 7-foot-tall specter whose job it is to collect the souls of suicide victims stalks lonely, depressed adolescents. Perhaps he's an explanation of the alarmingly high suicide rates in the area, or the few recent attempts at mass suicide. It doesn't sound like he causes them, though. It just sounds like he follows people around who might do it. But, you know, superstitions and all that. Tennessee has Skinned Tom. What is up with the South and people taking skin? Is South Carolina? Yeah. Okay. Don't woo the wrong lady like young Tom did. He ended up getting skinned alive by a beautiful woman's angry husband. His bloody ghost hangs around Lover's Lane to punish cheaters. Why do these y'all need to stop having things called Lover's Lane? Because it sounds like everybody that's got a Lover's Lane has a Lover's Lane that's haunted by something. Stop that. You don't need a Lover's Lane. You can just love in your house. And don't call that street Lover's Lane either. Or Elm Street. Just move to like Nottingham Way and do in your house. Texas has the Candy Lady. Texas urban legends about monsters like the Chupacabra or sites like the Alamo are creepy, sure, but have you heard about the lesser-known legend of an evil woman who lures children with candy? Candy left out on the windowsill is meant to lure children so a spectral woman can pull out their teeth, kidnap them, or stab them in the eyes. What's creepier is that this story may have been linked to a real-life person, Clara Crane, who killed her husband by poisoning candy and was released from an institution. How does that relate to leaving candy out, stealing teeth, and stabbing children in the eyes? How do you get that from lady who poisoned her husband and then got away with it? Utah has the curse on Escalante petrified forest. Wow. Anyone who takes petrified wood from the state park risks bad luck, job loss, sickness, and accidents. Park rangers claim they get dozens of packages every year, sending back chunks of wood from regretful thieves. What? Why was that oh my god. So, did it become known as the curse on Escalante Petrified Forest before or after people were stealing wood from it? And it sounds like they're still stealing wood from it after it became known as the curse on Escalante Petrified Forest. First off, if it's called Escalante Petrified Forest, even if it was not known as the curse on Escalante Petrified Forest, why the hell would I want to steal wood from someplace called the Escalante Petrified Forest? That sounds like someplace where people die. So, Vermont has the deep frozen folks. Frugal Vermonters facing extreme winters have been said to freeze their elderly and thaw them in the spring. Is this more scary or utilitarian? Or both? Virginia has the Bunny Man. On Halloween many years ago, a bus of transferring asylum inmates crashed, with one of the inmates escaping. For years, skinned, half-eaten rabbits were found hanging from the trees near Bunny Bridge, even after the supposed culprit died. Eventually, he allegedly attacked humans, too, leaving bodies strung up over the bridge. Bunny Bridge? Was it a tiny bridge where bunnies go? Or did you just have a whole bridge called Bunny Bridge? Really, y'all need to stop naming stuff like this, man. Washington has the Caddy of Cadboro Bay. While the legendary Bigfoot gets a great deal of attention in this state, you might not have heard of Caddy, short for Cadborosaurus, the local sea monster hanging out in Cadboro Bay. So it's like Nessie, but not. West Virginia has the White Things. Mothman might be the more popular mystery, but rural West Virginia is also home to mysterious dog-like creatures the size of a lion with white shaggy fur. I don't think Fallout 76 has those, but if I get murdered by one this weekend, I will be sure to come back and let y'all know about it. Because that sounds terrifying. Wisconsin has the Rhinelander Hodag, an ugly, stumpy critter with a spiked tail. The Hodag features in Paul Bunyan stories and reportedly loves to eat bulldogs. That is a strangely specific thing for a cryptid to do. And Wyoming has the Platte River ship? Through thick mist, usually in February, a ship can be seen sailing the Platte River, and its phantom crew frosted over. On the deck, you'll allegedly see the body of someone you know, or yourself. Either way, the person's death will come soon. What? I can't really blame that one on the river being named something weird, but do they know where the boat came from? Or the ship, rather? Or is it just a thing of, don't go to Platte River in February, cause you'll die? What if the ship's far away? If it's through thick mist and you can barely see it, how would you even see the body of someone you know or yourself? How good does your eyesight have to be for the ship to get you? If the ship is in thick mist in a distance in February and they're on the deck and they're frosted over and you die anyway, I don't think that was the ship. I just think that the universe didn't like you. But so that about does it for this web page of, I was trying to say web page and page at the same time, and just minimum wage monsters, just like the Dementors. But that about does it for this article thingy. If I can find some more stuff about urban legends or cryptids or whatnot, like that one time when I tried to read about some from Japan, I'll absolutely do that, because this stuff is interesting. It's like reading the SCP wiki, except significantly worse because some of it's real. So I guess if you liked it, a like to subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. If you'd like to click the bell, you can do that as well, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.